All right, Bears fans, welcome back. Bear down, and more than ever, bear down is absolutely accurate. So I did watch both Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, and it doesn't change my mindset one bit whatsoever. They politically answered everything the way they should. They've done everything to show due diligence, but what this means is the Bears are right in the middle of the process of working the angles, working the pick, working everything that they're doing to put this team in the best position possible to be long-term success. But if you pull up anything on social media, if you pull up on X, Twitter, if you pull up on YouTube, if you pull up even a Google search, in fact, right here, right now, Google search. Bears GM polls all but signals Justin Fields' trade on the horizon with this answer about quarterback. Bears GM, no concerns about rumors. Caleb Williams doesn't want to play in Chicago. Caleb Williams all but certain going to the Bears after Ryan Poles confirms this. Now, I've watched both Eberflus and Poles' media sessions twice each now, and he never confirmed that we're taking Caleb Williams. In fact, when he was pressured into answering whether Caleb Williams was like Pat Mahomes, he said, well, there are some similarities, but then he went on to extent to say there's different types of quarterbacks that are playmakers. The word he used was artists and surgeons, and guys who draw outside the lines or guys that are methodical. And he even pointed out Tom Brady and Peyton Manning as the surgeons, and he didn't make it sound as if he wanted Pat Mahomes. He made it sound like he wants someone that's a leader, that's built for leading this organization the right way. So I'm going to leave a couple quotes here with you guys. I'm going to read them to you. I'm going to leave them on the board. You can read them and you can see exactly what you think for them. But I'm going to say what I took away from today was they really do want to get a deal done with Jalen Johnson, that this team is trying to build long-term sustained success with proper leadership and players who are built for the Chicago market. So talking about the first and ninth picks, this is the question. Ryan, philosophically, how do you view the draft assets you have picking first and ninth, targeting star players, if you choose or if you capture those picks versus converting those picks into more picks, but they are lesser picks? His answer, that goes into the equation. You have to look at what's there in that area. You have to listen to the trading back 1, trading back 2, trading back 15. Like that changes the dynamic based on where the board is set up. We'll end up counting certain guys in certain spaces that we feel will be impact players in certain spaces. Being very open that draft picks are just opportunities, right? You have to capture that and be right with your draft picks so we understand that as well. All right, and then they asked specifically, in the process of evaluating quarterbacks, obviously at the top of the draft, there have been a lot of misses at the quarterback position. What have you learned about that makes a player a great quarterback at the next level? His answer, there's a lot there, right? What's the infrastructure look like? What's around the player? I think that's key. All right, pause the quote. What have we been talking about on this channel? And then I'm going to detract. I didn't put this in here. But when they asked Matt Eberflus about the process of evaluating, he specifically said, well, we're evaluating whatever position it is, but then he throws out 4, like just ad-lib throws out 4, and they're the exact ones we're talking about. He says quarterback, wide receiver, having a big X receiver outside the opposite side of DJ is what he said, another tight end, and offensive line. Matt Eberflus, in conjunction with the same thing that Ryan Poles is saying, said this exact answer of the supporting cast. All right, back to the quote. I'm going to start over with his answer. There's a lot there, right? What's the infrastructure look like? What's around the player? I think that's key. I think that's probably messed with the numbers a lot when you're talking about the top of the draft. Okay, stop quote for just a second. What have we been talking about on this channel? Those numbers aren't accurate when you have to take them into context. That's what we're talking about here, is you have to figure out the why. Not just, oh, Justin Fields has 9 wins and 30 losses, or he's not throwing for 3,000 yards. Why? What's the reasoning? Is he an elite playmaker? Is he dynamic? Or is he really the cause? Is he the cancer? Is he the problem? And that's the issue you have with Twitter and YouTube and all these different spaces right now. They want quick fix, seal the answer without understanding the real problem, the real solution, the real cause and effect of what's going on. All right, back to his quote. I think that's what makes our situation unique and why we have to really do a deep dive into it. Let's deep dive. I think the person is a huge part. I've talked about that a lot. What's the makeup? The leadership. How do they handle pressure? How do they handle pressure in a big city like ours? All right, question. Do you have a different mindset this year with the number 1 overall pick this year than what you had last year at this time? Answer. No, it's unique, right? But I would say our approach is exactly the same in terms that we need to look at every option and determine what is best for our team. Obviously, we chose to trade back last year, and that helped our team out a lot. All right, guys, I'm not going to go much farther than that today. Let the madness ensue. It's going to happen regardless of whether we want it to or not. I'm sure Ryan Poles knows how to handle this better than anybody, but the reality of the situation is the Bears know exactly what needs to happen for long-term sustainable success, and they're not looking at quick fixes to solve all the problems when he's talked about repeatedly, this is a brick-by-brick rebuild. This isn't a 1 year, this isn't a 2 year. And we've said it over and over and over again that the correct way to do this is to have the support staff and correct pieces in place built up properly. They've said that today. They've said it before. It doesn't matter what the media narrative's going to spin. They're going to spin it 6 different times. I've said it over and over again. They're going to flip-flop. They're going to come back and forth. They're going to hear one thing. They're going to flip one way. They're going to flip the other way. They're going to hear what they want to hear. And they'll probably accuse me of doing the same thing. I'm going to hear what I want to hear. But I try to really look at the psychology of Ryan Poles, what he's saying and what he's doing, and I really see the course being firm and set and that what he's going to do. And the reason that pick isn't traded yet is, well, Washington didn't come to the table with an offer good enough to give up that pick. Well, yeah, we do need to do some evaluating still, but there's also going to be some mixing and mingling and rubbing shoulders. And he already said, my phone hasn't stopped ringing. And they even asked him, are you getting offers to go to dinner? Are you having, all these people hit you? Yeah, of course. He's got the number 1 overall pick, and they're trying to gauge him and trying to figure out that's what this week is for. It's happening right now. So more than ever, bear down. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Either way, this team is growing in the best way possible. Ryan Poles has done an excellent job of putting us in the best space we can to be able to grow this team. So it's going to be fun. But don't be dissuaded by everything the media is saying right now. It's all a bunch of hogwash and malarkey. I'll call it out. I'll put my record on the record. I 100% firmly believe we're trading that number 1 pick. I don't believe we're moving on from Justin Fields. And all this right now is just whitewash. It's just whoosh, whoosh. Right now, it's all just about talk and buck, 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 buck. And that's what you're going to see the media do. So hold firm, bear down, and until next time, bear down.